if everybody else who didn't answer is ready to go.
I'm ready.
Well, good. Okay. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Brandie, Brie, John, Jr., and Steven. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jedi Slayer.
Yep, Jedi Slayer 420 is in chat right now. He's saying, Happy Monday, y'all. So happy Monday, Kyle.
Happy Monday.
Now, before we begin, I want to remind everyone that next week we will be playing our Valentine's Day one-shot, Romancing the Inferno, on Sunday, February 13th at 4 p.m. Central Time instead of our regular time on Monday. On Valentine's Day itself, which is Monday, we will be off so that everyone in the Random Rhapsody crew can spend the day with their significant others. The following Monday, February 21st, I am going to be out of town, so we're going to be taking that week off as well, but we will be back to our regular schedule again on Monday, February the 28th. You can keep up to date on all of our scheduling announcements by following us on Facebook at Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had finally defeated their longtime adversary, Sir Portlion, after trying to ambush him inside his Coltrast mansion. Though the hallway was still burning, the team took a few moments to finish up a few things while Blaznir utilized his druidic mastery to control the level of the flames. Shokan took out the last remaining guard, while Willow composed herself from her fury, and Cameron and Ichabod looted Portlion's weapon and a few works of gold from the knight's worship chamber. Unfortunately for our heroes, the sounds of alarm bells coming from the outside of the mansion soon informed them that their exploits had not gone unnoticed. Knowing that the town guards would soon be upon them, the circus collected the woman they had knocked unconscious and tied up, and brought her along with them while Blaznir created a flaming sphere to set alight the rest of the upper mansion. After pausing to retrieve the contents of a small lockbox they had left alone in the torture chamber, the squad attempted to flee the scene using the distraction of the burning mansion to aid in their escape. Unfortunately for them, even with Blaznir's pass without a trace, the squad was soon spotted by a patrolling squadron of guards and zombies. This led the team into a battle of both field control and flight, restraining the ogre zombie while Shokan and Edmund fought off the guards, though not before the guards could call out for help. Eventually, the party managed to escape down the winding alleyways and back paths that led into a small warehouse district in the southeastern part of the Lowtown. Though Ichabod did end up face-planting again in the middle of the street at one point.
My one notable event was that.
Yeah. Once more hidden in the shadows of night, the circus selected a quiet-looking warehouse that turned out to be a storage space for various foodstuffs, as they locked themselves in an upper office where they could spend the night in relative seclusion and safety, while they questioned the captured woman they had brought along with them. And so, Debauchery Circus, You are all crowded into a rather small office of the warehouse you had secluded yourself inside. The golden-haired woman you captured inside Portlion's mansion is still tied up, and you all have her currently sitting with her back against a small bookshelf filled with row upon row of neat binders stacked along its shelves. I'm going to move you to that map right now. You have a blindfold over her eyes, but after successfully intimidating the poor woman, you did undo the gag over her mouth, and you're even nice enough to give her a few mouthfuls of water to wet her whistle. The office itself is quite cold, as was the warehouse when you all went through it, and dark beyond the soft glow that's currently emanating from Ichabod's moon-touched sword. Through that pale glow, you can all easily see the goose flesh along this woman's mostly bare skin, which is covered in only a thin linen shift of pale blue, and a gold amulet is around her slim neck. But before you can question her any further, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what is something that the party doesn't know about you? And since Cameron, you rolled,
Yep.
What is something that nobody else knows about you?
Well, I guess he doesn't really have any major secrets, but I guess at this point I would probably say that Cameron's not really sure if he's actually interested in Ichabod or not. He's just kind of been doing this at the start to just sort of screw with him, and because he figures that Ichabod is probably some closeted BDSM lover with all of that use of the whip and talking about self-flagellation.
I mean, Ichabod definitely has not caught on to the crushing.
Like, there definitely could be, like, an attraction there, but in the beginning it was definitely totally just, oh, so you're a guy who probably wants to be, like, tied up and whipped, and...
You're just getting at me for my religion.
Yeah, all I'm getting now in my head is that Netflix show Beastar.
No,
the tiny little rabbit and the gigantic...
I will not be a furry. You can't turn me into a furry.
Well, with that in mind, Ichabod, what's something the party doesn't know about you?
It's not that I'm into BDSM. That's not what it is.
Okay.
Back before Ichabod was stationed on the wall in Gulf Rhim before he went off to war, he used to have a little bit of a drinking problem. But when he went off to war, it was kind of easy to go without. So he thinks that he's overcome it.
Okay, interesting. I like it. Shokan, how about you?
Well, Shokan really doesn't have much secrets, but I think the one thing the party doesn't know is when she's going to change her name again.
Okay.
And what it's gonna be.
Know that?
We're just sitting here dreading the day.
Aren't we just?
I don't think it's ever happened since Ichabod's been here. So
No.
Oh, yeah, that's
you'll
true.
be like, why? Huh?
Look,
Okay, well, actually, yeah, that is something that I don't think any of them have been in for a name change. So, yeah, that is something none of them know.
I'm just going to switch over to calling her Turtle Comrade or Comrade Turtle.
Yeah, nobody knows.
That way it's generic. Just keep using it.
Nobody knows.
Oh, another thing, Ichabod doesn't know that Shokan's female.
That's true.
Why is this turning into things Ichabod doesn't know?
Because Ichabod is the party. Ichabod is the heart and soul of this group.
No, Ichabod's the idiot of this party who doesn't know anything.
You can't be both?
Well,
I got
anyway, moving on.
I got soul, but I'm not a soldier.
Yeah.
But you were a soldier.
Willow, you're next. What's something that the party doesn't know about you?
The sick and deprived things I had to do in order to survive, and how many people I've killed. Straight edgelord.
Yeah, straight edgelord. That sounds about right. Okay, Blaznir.
Oh, and how much she hates men.
How much he hates men. Okay, that's
I
fair.
think we do know that about you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
She's a misandrist.
Blaznir, you are last. What's something the party doesn't know about you?
Let's blow everybody's minds and go, I hate fire.
I'm afraid of it.
Blaznir, are you with us? We're not hearing you.
Smo is typing. ... I don't think my mic is working.
Oh my god, what if his thing was that he's really a mute and he's been talking to us cyclically the entire time?
I did think it was weird how he never opened his mouth.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we're going to be waiting on Blaznir to kind of figure out what's going on with his mic.
Put up the technical difficulties screen.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it probably is either you need to unplug it and replug it back in, or reset Discord. Try those two things. If you can't figure out your headset, you can always just log into Discord on your phone and use that to talk.
That's true.
That's what another of my players has to do sometimes when his mic goes out. So just keep that in mind. Let us know when you're back with us.
He's just using the mic problems to try and avoid answering the question.
Probably.
He doesn't want us to know his secrets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll find out.
I bet Blaznir's got some really juicy secrets.
Well,
he says that he was in a circus, but it was actually a professional wrestling gig. Only one of those like sexy ones where the dudes are all just in like G-strings, and
that's why he got so far in the monk competition.
Yep,
yeah,
definitely.
It all makes sense.
Well, while Blaznir is trying to fix his mic and get all that working, we're going to move on. When he gets back, we'll ask him his question. Blaznir, like I said, if you can't figure out your mic, just go on Discord on your phone. Anyway, okay, Debauchery Circus. As I said, you are all inside the warehouse office, which is located affixed to an upper walkway that circles the warehouse interior. The office has six windows, 3 to your north that look out onto the grounds outside that leads to the locked door, which, apart from the double doors you all came from, is the only other door to this warehouse. There is a tall wooden fence that surrounds the building as well, which can be easily seen from those windows. You should all be able to see on the map looking out onto that. The windows themselves are shuttered. You can only actually see through the cracks looking out, but you can see to the grounds back there. The second set of windows looks out onto the warehouse floor, where more than a dozen large pallets are stacked high, with everything from sacks of beans to casks of oil and tobacco. From those glass windows, you can also see the double doors you all came through, as well as some of the walkways that encircle the upper portion of the building and the stairways going down. The entire place has a musty kind of smell, earthy, with just a hint of decay that evokes images of some of the crypts you've all traveled to in your journeys. The enchantress, as I said, is shivering as she sits upon the cold metal floor of the office. Her back is straight, and her chin is lowered in a suitably intimidated manner. So, Debauchery Circus, what are you wanting to do here?
Well,
so
we're going to ask some questions.
I'm going to pull out my bedroll and just tell her, do not mistake my kindness for weakness. And then I'm going to, like, open it up and wrap it around her.
Okay. That's nice of you.
Because I don't want her dying on our watch.
Yeah, she is pretty jacked up. There's no doubt about that. You did pump a bit of healing into her, but so she's not bleeding out or anything like that. But
no, but right. Hypothermia can
Yeah, hypothermia is a bitch, and her
All
teeth are
right.
chattering. But you wrap your bedroll around her as well as you can, given that she's tied up and kneeling with her arms behind her back, and yada yada.
And the fact that she's medium and I'm small.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But I'm doing my best, damn it.
yeah, you're doing your best, and she does at least seem a little bit appreciative as you wrap it around her.
Well, now that she's comfortable, I'd like to ask about the other 5-star knights, like your husband, and if they've got any kind of special powers or weapons like your husband has. Present tense.
You're going present tense.
Present tense still has.
Okay. She
I don't want her asking questions.
Gotcha. For those of you who don't remember last episode, the group did roll to intimidate and kind of scared this woman quite a bit. You also promised to let her live if she answers your questions.
Yep.
Yeah, now she's going to tell us nothing but the truth. For sure.
So what she says is, you asked what the knight's powers and weapons are.
Yeah, if they've got a signature weapon or signature power to them. Like he's an ice guy.
Yeah, sure.
Summons tentacles.
She says, besides my husband, there are Sir Morden Benelton, who favors the bow.
Benelton?
Morden Benelton. He favors the bow. Sir Nynaeve Mandragor, who wields a glaive. Jedi Slayer 420 just cut in and he's saying, didn't Ichabod take an oath against lying?
Yes, and I shall pay my penance for it. It's my flaw. So my flaw is I believe that the ends justify the means, so I will lie, hurt, and cheat to accomplish my goals, but the shame of my actions never leaves me.
I like it. Sir Ricton Talavor uses an axe. Sir Bentamin Grendal, he fancies himself a gentleman, and he only fights with a rapier.
Sir Benton?
Betamin. Betamin. Grendal. Grendal.
So one of them is colored red armor, one of them is blue, yellow.
What was the one before Betamin?
That was Ricton, Rikton, Talvor, Talvor, and he uses an axe.
For all the power.
Is there a magical element associated with any of these weapons or these gentlemen?
All 5 wield the same powers as my husband, and they have long experience fighting as a team.
Mm. All right. I look to anybody else to see if anybody else wants to participate in the question asking.
I'm not saying anything out loud, but right now Cameron is just thinking, and what would happen if we were to remove one of the pieces of those team, like, say, your husband?
Oh my god. So.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Yes, hypothetically speaking.
So did you say that out loud, or were you thinking?
No, God, no. I don't want her to turn into a sobbing mess if she realizes that her husband is dead.
Quick question. Did we have a long rest or a short rest since last session?
No.
Okay, so Willow is still covered in his blood.
Oh yeah.
But she's blindfolded. Don't worry.
I would ask her.
Well, I will point out that it was starting to rain as you all were escaping to this warehouse.
Yeah, so you did get a little bit of a shower.
Yeah, you got a little bit wet. Maybe some of them, but this is more like she looks like Carrie. at this
And
point.
also, Willow, we intimidated her by, I said that if she lied to us again, I would let you do whatever you wanted to her.
Willow hasn't said a damn word. She is spacing off, not looking at anything, just quiet.
All right, we'll get a long rest in after this.
I will say to the woman, I will ask her, you said that they are experienced fighting together as a team. What is their usual tactical strategy for a fight?
She just kind of shrugs her shoulders at you.
I whisper to Cameron, I'm not sure the woman has an idea of tactics or battle tactics, considering how we,
Fair. You may not have ever actually seen them fight.
True. But on that note about them as a team, I do have a question to ask, which is, do they typically spend a lot of time during the day inside the keep, or do they tend to stick to their own homes?
Each one has a mansion in the upper district of Coltrast, but each of the knights have duties and pursuits of their own. Over the last few months, they've stayed in Coltrast. Benelton is away from the city, the last I heard, on some other task for Lord Veritude. Mandragor oversees the workforce underneath the keep that works on the excavation, which is overall seen by both Valkan and Administrator Sandar.
Is this Rhim?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Welcome back, Blaznir. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was dumb.
We missed you.
Were you able to figure out your mic?
No, I'm just using the earbuds I bought.
Gotcha.
Now tell
So
us all your secrets.
Oh, I have so few.
You?
Yeah, me
Where's
too.
the drama?
I was really reaching for an answer there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a deep, dark secret. It just says, what is something the party doesn't know about your character?
I guess that I was banished from my home.
Oh.
Okay, tell us more about that.
They blamed me for starting a forest fire, and when I was just napping, and I got banished for it, and I've just been wandering ever since.
Did you cause the forest fire in your napping?
Did
you eat a really spicy burrito?
It is possible.
He had his ferret out as a napping buddy.
Oh, this is how I met my my familiar thing.
Oh, then he started the fire.
Oh.
I mean, that's what I was going to say anyways. You were using him as a napping buddy and he accidentally set something on fire.
It could be. I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Well, welcome to the game, buddy. I was talking about Talvor. Talvor is in charge of the guards and overall security in Coltrast, but he tends to stay inside his mansion and work from there. Now, as for my husband, he was demoted to overseeing the zombies and organizing them into army units. And she says this part very bitterly, you all pick up. She says, he has lost favor with Lord Veritude, but he never would tell me why. Something to do with his last assignment going awry. And she kind of shrugs.
Is that why he didn't have a mansion up by the keep? Because his mansion seemed to be further away from everything, and it was just strange.
She turns her face to you, towards you, the direction you are anyway, since she can't actually see you. She says, hold on a second. My husband always liked to be down among the commoners. She always liked to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to, and he preferred to oversee them. That's why he chose the mansion in the lower district.
Oh, I see. That's less interesting than I thought it would be.
And this Sir Bediman, what does he do?
Okay.
He dreams in colors of the world. Can't find a better man.
I'm really glad the bow guy is out of town.
Wow.
I hate archers.
Sir Grendal.
Yeah.
She kind of thinks for a little bit, like trying to collect herself, and she says, "To be honest, I don't rightly know. My husband says that he tends to disappear in the oddest times. He's not entirely sure what it is that Lord Veritude has him up to, and it's a point that kind of irritates him, to be honest. He thinks perhaps that it's possible Grendal has been watching him."
All right.
So this might seem a bit of an odd question, given that they are a military unit. Do they generally like each other?
Again, she kind of shrugs a little bit. As much as any group like each other, their friendships closer than others. There's animosities among some. My husband never really liked Grendal, I can tell you that much. As for the rest of them, they work well together, and all of them has eaten. We all eat at each other's homes as often as possible. So close enough, I suppose.
All right. I'd like to turn the conversation to this Lord of Veritude in the High Castle. Does he have any sort of abilities? Obviously, y'all are raising the dead here. Is that his doing, or has he got someone who can do that in his employ?
The woman shudders a little bit, even with the bedroll around her, and she says, "I've never met Lord Veritude, nor would I ever want to.
Why is that?
My husband's labored very hard to ensure this. Veritude is a powerful man. From what Alistar has told me, his gaze can render a man helpless in an instant. Veritude is a true servant of the Dreamer, dedicated both body and soul to the Wise One in bringing about his return. And he's powerful beyond belief."
So he's powerful in his own right and not merely a figurehead. Interesting.
Veritude does have a necromancer with him. His name's Garrett Sandar, and he's the administrator here in Coltrast. He serves as the body double for Lord Veritude whenever the man is forced to make public appearances. She looks towards you, your voice again, Ichabod, and she says, "Veritude,
I'm taking notes."
Veritude distrusts any but true believers, and is paranoid to a fault, according to my husband."
Interesting. How did your husband say he enacts this paranoia? Has he got spies? Has he got scrying spells?
Again, she kind of shrugs. "Only true believers are allowed to come anywhere near Veritude."
I see. Does he have a special room inside the keep that he tends to hide in?
She thinks for a moment about that. "My husband always says he meets with Lord Veritude in the library."
Cameron starts drooling a little bit at the thought of a well-stocked library.
Edmund, for his part, he's been sitting on one of the chairs in a desk, and he looks up at the mention of the library, and he says, "Our library is very, very large. It's on the first floor, just off the grand hall."
Yeah, it is. It's a large library. It's so big.
All right, Cameron.
Cameron, please keep it contained.
Everyone looks pointedly away from Cameron, not wanting to see what he's rubbing right now.
So, Sandar.
And I got a 20 intelligence. What do you expect?
Sandar is our necromancer, it seems, and also body double. That kind of complicates things. But speaking of that necromancer and the excavation, do you have any clue what it could be they are trying to excavate down there? Has your husband mentioned anything?
Even if it's simply his theories.
So at this question about what they're digging up, her lips almost seem to quiver as she presses them tightly closed. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Now you're going to clam up? All right.
Is that just Ichabod or anybody?
20.
Anyone who's looking.
Sure. 18.
23.
Damn, son.
We're very insightful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those of you
I cannot perceive, but I can insight.
Well, the thing that you can perceive is that the threat of the loss of her life conflicts with her obvious dedication to her cause.
Oh, so you're one of those true believers you mentioned, I take it.
She just, her head looks directly towards you, and like she has the blindfold over her eyes, but it's almost as if she's looking right at you.
Mm-hmm. Like knows like, real knows real. But if you're a true believer and Lord Veritude is a true believer and you're terrified to go towards Lord Veritude, really seems like you're part of a great cause here. Well, does anybody else have any questions? Hologram.
Not that I can think of, but I'm very out of it.
Yeah, I look at Edmund and Shokan and Willow because, you know, the two of us have been the ones mostly asking questions.
Well, judging by the silence,
I'm waiting for the players. So Shokan, Willow, do either of you want to ask this woman anything?
Isn't paying attention. She's still off in her own world trying to process everything.
Actually,
her trauma.
I'm gonna go over to Willow and I'm gonna whisper and I'm gonna ask you if you could make yourself look like her.
Willow will slowly look at you, processing that other people are in the room for a second, and just go, "What?"
Would you make yourself look like this woman in appearance?
She'll just lightly nod her head.
Okay.
The back pocket. All right. I think I've thought of just a couple more questions. One is, are there any passages in and out of the keep that you know about? Any underground way in? Any cracks in the wall?
Wouldn't Edmund have told us this?
I would think so.
If there were any?
I'll look at Edmund.
Edmund was a child. Well, he's still a child.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
So maybe there's a secret passage.
Yes, that's
They've
true.
Been making more use of.
He might not have known.
Yeah, he did not. He told you before that he did not know of any secret passages or anything like that. The woman, she when you ask that, she says, "You mean besides the main gate?" And she laughs at this derisively.
All right, that's your one laugh.
Yeah, my husband has said that the Cerulean Syndicate no doubt has ways. The guild member has members everywhere, but I couldn't tell you where. And then she yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were finished. I didn't want to interrupt. Sorry.
Well, she was getting ready to say, Talvor's guards have been surprisingly inept at finding them. Was the other thing she was going to say. Now, Willow, the name the Cerulean Syndicate is a familiar one to you. It's the true name of the Thieves Guild in Loroupa. And they're also the true power behind the Margarden Federation.
Willow between the laugh and the Syndicate's name is going to pull out needle slowly, put it towards her neck, and say she wants to hear everything she knows about the Syndicate now. And just a pale monotone, no anger, no fear, no happiness, a straight tone.
You're asking what she knows about the Syndicate? She
Yes.
does feel the needle pointing at her neck, your syringe, and she kind of stiffens at that. And she says, no more than anyone else. The Thieves Guild is everywhere throughout Loroupa. Everyone knows this.
Willow, I think we should reel it in just a little bit.
Yeah. Edmund's on his feet as well, and he's walking over to you, Willow.
I'm just giving calm and signal.
Willow will put needle away. She's going to take her hand, wipe some of the blood off her face, and then wipe it on hers and just walk away.
Okay.
Nice. That's creepy.
Yeah. Okay. Blindfolded. As she does this, the blindfold kind of goes askew a little bit, and you can see one very disturbed blue eye kind of peeking out from the jostled blindfold. She starts looking around a little bit.
No, fix that.
So you come running over and pull it back down over her eyes.
Yeah. All right, that's enough of the theatrics. All right, so if nobody else has any questions, I think I'm just about finished.
I asked everything that I thought of.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't know.
All right. So then I think we should start planning our long rest because we've got a big day ahead of us. Obviously, we got to take some shifts because this lady ain't getting out of here till the morning because we're not going to risk her running off and warning everybody.
Before we actually sleep, I am going to make a point to go around to everybody who allows me and just use prestidigitation to like clean off some of the blood and stuff because obviously like the smell and sort of the ick of that might potentially prevent somebody from being able to, fully sleep.
You all...
For some, it might not be a big deal for some people, but if it is.
Y'all
Willow
are kind
will
of nasty.
Stop you from doing that, but she will say it's probably better for her if someone does if we have enough people to do the rest with her to make sure she doesn't do anything stupid.
Willow, I suggest you do take the cleaning off because we still got to get out of the city in the morning and they're not going to stop looking for us. I think a big blood-covered blonde girl is really going to draw some attention.
She'll nod her head and she'll do her own prestidigitation.
All right.
Yeah, you all are kind of gory,
filthy and gross,
and covered in soot and smelling of smoke. As you're saying that, the woman still has the her mouth open, and she asks, "Where are we? Where have you taken me?" You
all
can
right.
At least tell me that.
I gag her again.
I'm just gonna be. It's just honestly, I don't know where we are, so there's not much help from there, and it doesn't really matter. You'll be free soon enough. I'm done.
Yes, I will look at her, even though she can't see me, and I will say, now keep in mind that I was the one who assured that you would live. And I do intend on keeping this promise, as long as you do not intend on attempting anything that could cause harm to us, in which case my pledge would be rendered inviolate by your own actions, and I would leave you to the fate of my comrades.
I'm gonna seal you into the stone if you try anything.
Basically just, yes, I did say that I would let you live if you answered our questions. However, if you run off and try and tell somebody where we are, or try and escape, and cause harm to us, then that's off the table.
And frankly,
Willow's internal dialogue. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, frankly, I've got a little sympathy for cult heretics, so I shrug.
Well,
Willow's internal dialogue. We never said how long we would let her live.
Edmund, he is going to speak up and say, we did say that we would let her live if she answered the questions,
She will
and
live.
we should abide by that. It is the honor of all of our group, and the honor of me as the eventual ruler, I suppose.
As I said, as long as she does not do anything before her release with an attempt to harm us, I will
think
abide
that
by
Edmund
this
has
agreement.
spoken here. I take off my hat and I give a little head nod to Edmund. I will defer to your authority on this matter.
Basically just comes down to me. If she becomes an enemy combatant, then she is an enemy combatant. So that's her choice.
That's why we're doing her a favor by keeping her overnight.
She is tied and gagged and blindfolded now, and her head still moves whenever somebody talks, but she doesn't seem to be trying to move on her own. Every so often she shifts to try to find a way to be more comfortable, but being hogtied, you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
If y'all don't mind, I would like to take the last shift because I'd like to be up early.
Sure. Oh, Ichabod. I have unfortunately used my bedroll to cover her so that she does not
The
freeze.
answer is no to whatever you're about to ask. The answer is no. I need my privacy so that I may pray before I go to bed. It's just a part of my faith. I'm sure you understand.
What, do you not want to cuddle with the rabbit?
No, I was
feel like-
just going to ask if he or anyone else had a spare. As like I said, she is currently using mine so that she does not freeze to death in the night. But that's fine, I understand.
Do you like a fire or anything?
There's plenty
No,
of bags of rice still there.
Light would probably be too much illumination to potentially give us away.
All right.
Fair enough.
Who wants to take the first shift?
Edmund does have a cloak that he'll lend you.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I feel like Shokan doesn't really have a need for a bedroll, even though for some reason she has one. I mean, she's a turtle.
Yeah, I think
Turtles
it's just part of the
have
starting
these,
package for every class.
So, I mean, you can use Shokan's.
Cool.
Okay.
Right. Willow, would you like to take the first watch with me?
She'll slightly nod her head.
Okay.
And then she'll just go sit in a corner, just facing out.
That should theoretically mean that I can get a full night's rest in to regain my spells and not be an issue.
Edmund says that he'll take up the last watch with Ichabod if Blaznir and Shokan take the other two.
Yeah, I can take second.
Sure.
Okay. Now, as I said, there are two doorways into this office, one right here and one right there. Those doors are closed currently, and you do have them locked. There are the three windows that are shuttered that does allow you to look out into the back area. and the 3 in the front that you all should be able to look through to see the warehouse below. So you all arrange yourselves as best you can in this very cold room. The floor itself is just, that corrugated iron that has little holes in it. That's basically what it is on a basically 6 poles that hold up that, and there's also a bunch of poles that go around the whole area that holds up the upper walkway. So, just so you know where you guys are all at.
Okay.
Cameron, you and Willow are taking the first watch while everyone else tries to find as much of a comfortable spot as you can in this very cold room.
Yeah, you said there were bags of rice, right?
Yeah, there's bags of like rice and beans and stuff down on the lower level.
Okay, well, I'm gonna grab a couple of bags of beans then, I guess, because I can put them on the like iron grating or whatever, and then like sleep on top of put my bedroll like on top of the bags of beans.
Sure.
It'll be a little uncomfortable maybe, but a lot less uncomfortable, or a lot better than sleeping on, the hard metal flooring.
They're pretty big. They're like, have you ever seen a 25-pound bag of rice before?
Oh, okay. Then I'll probably just need like one bag.
Yeah, they're pretty damn big, and I'm sure Edmund would come down and help you out to lift one in there that you could lay on. Absolutely.
I'll take a bag of beans.
Would help too before bed.
The rice bag might like poke you because it's all pointy, and the beans are more like flat.
Mm-hmm. So it's like laying on a little beanbag chair.
Yeah,
but with just bigger beans.
Ichabod has to find a private place so he can pray before bed.
So, like,
I just want to leave this room.
You can just leave this room and go out onto the walkways. It's slightly quiet.
I must pay my penance. This is very personal to me.
Okay. So before, as everyone else is trying to find a place to lay down for the night, you go step out onto the upper walkway and kind of go walking out into the warehouse. What are you going to be doing out there?
Well, I pray because today was a particularly sinful day for me. Mm-hmm. So I just spent a long time in prayer. And I have my little cat of nine tails, and I whip my back a couple times, and then I feel good about myself. As self-harm does. It alleviates my guilt, and then I feel good, and then I go to bed.
Not that it actually matters because you're going to do a long rest, but go ahead and roll your damage just to see.
Yeah, let me roll damage against myself. What does a cat of nine tails do? D4?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I take a big 3. Owie.
Yeah.
Does Cameron see Ichabod whip himself?
If I've done my job right, no. I'm trying to keep this very personal. This is something I actively do not want anybody to see. I'll roll a stealth check.
So, I mean, so here's the deal. Ichabod does walk out of the office, close the door, go out to one far dark corner. Willow, are you attempting to look out and see it out of the door? I'm just curious. Yeah.
No. No, not me. I said, did Cameron Did Cameron see?
Oh, Cameron? What did you do when Ichabod walked out?
No, like we're just gathering the sack of beans so that I can sleep and preparing stuff.
Okay, then Cameron definitely did not see that because he was on the other side of the.
Of course, keeping an eye on Willow to make sure she doesn't do anything drastic.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Willow's an angel.
Only on the outside.
So Ichabod, after your self-flagellation, you go and head back into the office to find Cameron curled up on a big sack of beans, Edmund wrapped up in a bedroll against between a couple of desks, and the rest of your party just kind of spread out.
All right, I go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go to bed as well. Everyone else, is there anything Blaznir, Shokan, Willow, anything y'all wanting to do before bed, or are we just going to go ahead and jump into the long rest?
Nope, Willow's just gonna. Go ahead.
Alright, the only thing I need to do is meditate for, I think, 30 minutes.
Fair enough.
I would just tell the party members that we can obviously discuss this, but one possible option that I was considering, since Willow can look like this woman and she's supposed to be one of the true believers, is that we could totally try and pull off one of those, oh yeah, I brought in the prisoners and they're totally fully handcuffed and everything plays.
I feel like that would just get us locked up in a cell and not to Lord Veritude's private inner sanctum.
You never know, man. You never know.
Also, they'd be like, wow, by yourself?
We're totally fully handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
And Sir Portlion did it even, and he's not here because his mansion burned down and is taking care of that.
They definitely didn't find his corpse in there.
Oh, that's a good question. What is going on over there at Portlion's mansion? When you all left, the roof and the upper level was completely caught ablaze.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was starting to rain at that point, but that kind of light drizzle ain't gonna put a house out. But at the same time, the guards were being summoned. People were starting to arrive on the scene. So who knows what happened? Maybe
if the roof collapsed, then even if they could get access to his body to identify it, it'd take them a while.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So, with everyone else settling in for their long rest, Willow and Cameron start their watch. Go ahead, both of you, and make your perception checks.
Sure. 14.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
I'm gonna, if it's okay with you, I want to say that I have it at disadvantage for the fact of I'm not mentally here right now.
Yeah, I like it. Absolutely.
I just feel like I wouldn't be,
You have reached the psychic mailbox of Willow. I'm not available to come to my body right now. Please leave me a message, and I'll get back to you.
Imagine scrying someone and you hit their answering machine. Or not scrying, sending a message.
Willow's on a vacation far away.
Well, Willow, you definitely are having a hard time paying attention as you sit there in the darkness, not too terribly far from the wife of Sir Portlion. You glance out the window every so often, but it's dark, and you really don't have dark vision. So, other than occasional glimpses of lightning that illuminate the room you're in, it is extremely dark and quiet. Cameron, you do have dark vision, and you do check the windows every so often, and with your 14. It seems quiet for those first 2 hours. Nothing really catches your attention other than that rain, and every so often you hear what you think might be a bell ringing, but it's so distant and there's so much thunder going across the sky now that it's hard to tell if you're actually you're hearing that, or if it's just when you're hearing white noise and you think you hear random shit. Yes, it's kind of like that.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt you. Sorry. Because it matters, some of that jewelry type stuff that we have in the bag, does any of that have an image of a dragon on it?
What do you have in the bag that you're asking about?
There's like a gold ring set with topaz, bracelet set with topaz, Fabergé egg encrusted with topaz, sword with topaz.
Oh, that's all the loot you found in the Dragon's Lair?
Yeah, from the Dragon's Lair.
I think most of it was just random loot that it had collected. It loved topazes, so it just had topaz things in. If you want one of them to have an engraving of a dragon, I don't care.
Well, for transparency here, I have a 5th level spell summon Draconic Spirit that requires a material component that has to be an object with the image of a dragon engraved on it, worth at least 500 gold pieces.
None of that stuff was worth 500 by itself.
I figured I'd just ask.
I have a question, which is, did anybody put a claim on Portlion's sword? Or we decided it wasn't magic, right?
You've never checked any of the
no,
stuff
we
you found.
never actually checked his sword.
Okay, well, we'll worry about it later. I just couldn't remember.
We didn't know whether the enchantment was like whether it didn't look
But I think we
glowing
got the
anymore because
impression that it was from.
like it might have been magic because he was attuned to it, and it's just that
Oh, okay.
nobody's attuned to it. But it might have just been a thing that he did. We don't know.
Hmm.
So yeah, it very well could be magic. We would just have to have somebody with detect
Does
magic.
anybody else have an interest in this sword? Because it's a
Although
long
actually-
sword, right?
Yeah. Actually, since I've got the time, can I try and identify it while I'm on watch with my identify spell?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You could have used part of your watch to cast the spells.
Cool.
Because, I mean, ritually casting them, they only take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here. The sword itself is is just a +1 long sword when you cast Identify on it.
Yeah.
It is a very nice weapon. It is a magical weapon, but that's the only enchantment you detect on it.
Let's see.
Still.
So that is a +1 weapon. The shield, however, when you cast that
You're
looks
like hovering over my bed.
Yeah, you're hovering over your bed, over his bed, kind of rubbing that shield as he casts the spell. And
I'm like holding it.
I'm your fairy god rabbit coming to you in your dreams.
So what you find out is that this is a repulsion shield. It's
Nice.
a +1 shield, so it actually has a 3 instead of a 2, and it has 4 charges. While holding it, the wielder can use a reaction immediately after being hit by a melee attack to expend one of the shield's charges and pushes the attacker up to 15 feet away.
Ooh.
However, it only regains 1d4 expended charges at dawn.
Okay. What about his axe?
Axe?
Yes,
Oh,
there was an axe of his.
It was Shadowfire's axe.
No, Shadowfire had a warhammer.
Yeah, there was Shadowfire's warhammer, and then Portlion's axe is also something I have listed.
Oh, interesting.
Willow would want the Warhammer for sentimental value.
Yeah,
That's fine. I know he was planning on enchanting it. I don't remember if he ever did.
No, he
But
never.
they
got
might
No,
have
we
done
never-
that in between.
No, we never got the upgrade. He never worked on his own hammer, at least
Okay.
on screen.
So, would either of those things be enchanted or no?
No, neither of them were
Okay.
enchanted.
That's fine. If you want to put down the warhammer, I'll just mark it off of the circus journal.
And then the shield, if no one wants it, I
already
wouldn't
have
mind
it.
it.
She's using it.
Beautiful. Okay.
I got a 20 AC now.
What kind of
Is that
axe is
attunement?
the axe? Is it a great axe, a hand axe?
I think that was a hand axe.
Okay.
And it can actually be a +1 hand axe, just because Portlion had moderately powerful
Sure.
gear just without that.
That's fine. I just like keeping copious notes to make sure that everything's
Absolutely. But I have no problem with that being a +1 hand axe.
okay. Cool. So I've updated the journal and I removed Shadowfire's warhammer, and you can just add that to your personal inventory.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. And then when it's time for folks to take the next watch, I will, go to sleep.
Okay. Who is taking second watch?
Shokan.
Okay, Shokan. So Willow and Cameron wake you up. You go take your watch. Go ahead and make your perception check for the night.
That's a 15.
Okay. So about an hour into your watch, you've been walking around the office itself, every so often glancing out the windows. You're standing next to this window currently, looking out onto the field, the alleyway kind of behind the warehouse. The rain is starting to let up. It's definitely getting a lot lessen at this point, and there is no more thunder or lightning. You have your dark vision goggles, so you're actually able to see in the darkness. And you watch. First, you notice that there's a little bit of light coming just from the edge of the warehouse that you can just kind of barely see, which I'm going to go ahead and show you right here. Make sure I got that right. Yep. Okay. At first, you see a little bit of light starting to come around the corner of the edge of the warehouse, and you do see a man clad in the same green cloak that you've been seeing of the town guards begin to approach around the back with a zombie in tow. The two of them seem to be the man himself. He's kind of holding up a lantern, looking around back and forth as he walks. You're kind of watching him, keeping back a little bit. Luckily, the shutters are on the windows, so with you not moving, I'm not going to make you roll a stealth check. You're just there, hidden in the darkness and unable to be seen from his position. He walks around for a little bit. He seems to stop about 20 feet past the corner, and he's looking back and forth with that lantern. Do you do anything, or are you just going to watch?
I'm just gonna watch and stay in the shadows. I'm not gonna call attention to myself.
Okay. From there, the man turns to the zombie, puts his hand up as though, like, the stay motion you do to dogs. He walks over to the doorway, which the doorway is, there's that back door that your group had found when you were first exploring this. He walks up to it, kind of jiggles the door a little bit, as though he's trying to open it. He shakes it a little bit, but it was locked, and you guys never opened it. He holds up the lantern one more time, looks back and forth, and then he proceeds to walk down the alleyway between the back area of the warehouse and the wooden wall. You see them walk, and you kind of walk around as well, following them in the windows, so you can always keep an eye on them. The pair stops every 40 or so feet, looks around again. It's obvious that he's looking for something, but there's no movement back here other than you all up there in the dark, so he doesn't seem to take any notice. You see the guard kind of turn back and look at the zombie, motioning it once more, and eventually they walk around to the far side, out of your view. Is there anything Is there anything you do after that point, Shokan?
I mean, I'm just gonna obviously take note of it, and whenever I wake up, I'm assuming Blaznir is the next one. I'll let him know, but I mean, otherwise, I see no reason to go after this guy or anything right at this point.
Okay. Eventually, your watch does come to an end, and you don't see anyone else come back through the back area where you can see. You eventually go and wake up Blaznir, and you let him know that a guard was walking around the warehouse, but you haven't seen one since. And then you head off to bed.
And I tell him just be extra alert just in case. And I'll stay nearby and tell him to wake me up if, anybody shows up again.
If they're walking around the street or if they come in, because I don't want to wake you up if they're just walking by the street. Because that's a bit...
Yeah, wake me up if it seems like they may be trying to get into our warehouse.
Oh yeah, that's the anyway. Just get to sleep.
Okay. Well, Blaznir, go ahead and make your perception check.
And while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna slightly hum to myself, trying to figure out how to cast some spells because
Okay.
I took a new class. So 27.
With your 27, yeah, you are honed in to everything that's going on, at least in your area. The rain is definitely beginning to subside at this point. It's coming down to little more than just a drizzle. And this allows you to hear quite a bit more with no rain thundering on the rooftops. It is easier to make out the sounds of the city beyond. Every so often, you do hear bells ringing. They're not like regular. Sometimes you'll hear them and then you'll go for a stretch at 15, 20 minutes and hear nothing, and then you'll hear some more again somewhere else. Okay. It's distant, it's far away, so it's not like right up near you. You don't get the sense that it's like anywhere within the near block, but you definitely know that there is still something going on out there in the city. But apart from that, the next 2 hours go by relatively quiet.
At the end of my shift, I finally figured it out and cast Prestidigitation to just clean myself up more. And, and then wake up next couple people and fall asleep happy with myself.
Fair enough. And with that, we have Ichabod and Edmund's watch. So, Ichabod, go ahead and make your perception check. You're muted.
Sorry. Is Edmund going to make one too? Or
yeah. No, he's going to make one as well.
He probably has better perception than me. Oh, I got a 22.
Hey. So did he.
Got a 22.
That's
yeah,
weird.
Okay, so me and Edmund are bonding right now.
Yeah, you're definitely like taking on that military route of back and forth, just vibing, where each one knows where the other person is and what they're doing. And
once it's like an hour before our watch is up, I do want to talk to Edmund.
He's still not going to call you dad.
Okay.
Okay, well, Edmund, for his part, is definitely been keeping a watch out, and he's staying more to the windows, looking out, but he's not really looking in the just the back area. He's looking beyond into the city itself. You do occasionally hear the sound of bells as well. There's a fair more than Blaznir had reported when he went to bed. Not close enough to make you think that somebody's right outside the warehouse,
but they're obviously on high alert.
But they are obviously on high alert, and they're obviously moving about more. So for that last hour, what are you wanting to talk to Edmund about?
I just want to turn to Edmund and say, well, today's going to be a pretty big day for you. How do you feel about that? Just look at it. I mean, you did kill a man yesterday.
Yeah, I suppose I did. He kind of looks a little bashful about that.
I pat him on the shoulder, and I'm like, it's fine. That was the first step to taking back your kingdom, and today we're going to finish it.
I suppose if I'm feeling anything, it's apprehension. Veritude. I've what the woman said, and he kind of glances over at her, but she does seem kind of like she's sound asleep. He says, what she was saying about Veritude doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Veritude was Garrett Veritude was a friend of my father's. I met him many times. He would come and visit us in Coldtrast. He's a short man, slightly balding and thin, but
he never had like power.
no, I always found him kind of creepy in that creepy uncle kind of way. But I never really got the sense that he was some all-powerful being that like this woman was describing.
Do you think it's possible he came into contact with one of these? And I hold up my left hand to show him the gem. It seems like that could have had an effect on him, changed him.
Perhaps so, but does that not also worry you that it's going to change you as well?
Well, you know what they say, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. So I guess we'll see if it comes to it.
Well, I mean, while you may have just gotten that recently, Shokan over there has had one for quite a while, and I haven't seen any signs or anything to make me worry about her. So who knows?
Well, it's a theory. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. But I think you should focus more on being a leader, since that's kind of what's happening. And I want to cast Ceremony on Edmund.
Okay, what's Ceremony?
So I'll just post, because it's really long, I'll just post the one that I'm casting. Coming of Age. So it takes an hour. You touch one humanoid who is a young adult for the next 24 hours. Whenever the target makes an ability check, he can add a d4.
Wow.
Because he is becoming a man today. And he killed a man yesterday, and today he's going to take over his kingdom. And I just want you to know, I can tell that you're going to be a powerful leader.
And Edmund definitely feels much more bolstered as you cast the spell on him. And after that hour goes by, he just says, wow. Thank you, Ichabod. I'm definitely feeling a lot better now because of that.
Well, don't thank me. Thank Bowers the father.
It only works once, but he's probably either going to end up getting crowned or killed. So either way,
yeah.
Big day.
And I do hope that when you take over this town again, you'll get them back on the right path. Seems like we've gone a little astray with this cult stuff. So just know who had your back.
He kind of chuckles at that, and he says, well, I will certainly remember all of you, my friends. Honestly, I hope that you'll help me once we do have Coltras back in my hands, and help to advise me to make this place what we all hope it will be.
I think I smile, and then I return to my stoic fatherness. So don't say anything and just stare out the window for the rest of the watch. That was enough emotion for one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. So with that, the last watch goes by fairly quiet, though those bells are starting to get closer.
All right.
Eventually, you all do get to the point where you've all had a long rest, so go ahead and take care of your characters. That spells back to full, hit points up, half your hit dice, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not gonna die now.
Not yet.
Let's see, spells go back up.
And I gotta do that for Edmund, so give me like 1 minute.
Don't forget, spellcasters, take a look at your list and see if there's anything that you want to swap out as far as preparation goes.
Yep. I have no idea what I'm going to need.
I took Banishment as one of my 4th level picks, just in case he happens to have any friends from another plane. I can send them away.
That would definitely be nice.
Beyond
My problem
that,
is I don't technically have 5th levels because I took a.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I have 5th levels, but the only one I can take right now is Synaptic Static because I don't have the component for my Summon Draconic Spirit. But Synaptic Static is still pretty good.
I can learn Summon Draconic Spirit as well. Yeah, next level. Next level.
As you're all waking up and getting yourselves ready, it is a little bit still before dawn. You got about an hour or so before dawn as you all wake up. So you do have some time to prepare. Edmund, he looks to everyone and he says, "I've been thinking about this over the last hour, Ichabod, when you were casting your spell, and I do want to talk to everybody about this. We kind of roused everyone when we burned down Portlion's mansion, and we've been hearing a lot of bells out there. It worries me, the thought that there may be more out there than we had previously anticipated.
More what?
More guards, more patrols.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get to where we need to get into the keep.
We told the citizens to be ready when dawn rises, and to open the gates first and let the orcs in. But if there's more patrols out there, they might have a harder time."
It's true. Do you have a suggestion, Edmund?
I was just wondering if you all thought we should try to take some of them out along the way. Help out any villagers we might see who's fighting for us.
I think that's totally fair. I definitely wouldn't want to just hide in here while they do everything, and we can use that partially as a cover. Maybe it would be a good idea to call the orcs a little early so that they can be on their way.
I will say, for us spellcasters, it's not the best thing to be fighting throughout, but we can do what we can. It's just...
You've got a sword, don't you?
No.
I have hit actually nothing with it.
Good old-fashioned street fight.
I have hit nothing with it so far. I have missed every single swing I've made.
Brother, I put my hand on your shoulder and I look you directly in the eye. Today's the day. You're going to hit something today. I can feel it.
It's really not. I don't know how I've been missing.
All right. Well, despite Blaznir's insecurities.
Well, it's just we shouldn't spend too long fighting.
I agree. We should fight on our way. And if we get the orcs in here sooner, it's the sooner the townsfolk will have backup. Yes. It's going to take them a little while to kind of cross that, from the forest to the town anyway.
Should I just summon them now, then?
Perhaps it would be hidden amongst the bells. So there's like bells ringing and stuff, and then just a horn goes.
I was going to say, if it's a magical horn where they'll be able to hear it regardless of whether they hear the actual noise, then you just, blow it right as the bell's going off.
Yeah, let's time it. Time it with the church bells.
Okay, so you're telling Edmund pulls out the horn and kind of looks at it.
Oh, well, let's all get dressed first. Yeah.
Hold your horses. We don't.
I mean, you said go for it.
Armor. Willow needs to don her armor.
That's totally it. It's totally not that Ichabod sleeps in the nude.
No, not since I got bit by that snake.
Hold on 1 second. I would like to talk to the audience out there. I need an adult.
Well, I think on that note, we're going to go ahead and take our break now because it's 4:23. Okay. So once we get back, we'll let Edmund toot his little horn, and you guys can all prepare for the day. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks. We'll see you then. Okay, we're back. When we last left off, the Debauchery Circus just finished their long rest. They took a moment to identify a few items, and they're now preparing themselves to start their day. It is about an hour or so before dawn. The rain is coming down, but at a very, very slow drizzle. You have not heard a whole lot of sounds of bells and that sort of things in the last 15 or 20 minutes or so, but you've also kind of been talking a little bit. But you are all awake, you have your full rest, and the day is yours. So, Debauchery Circus, what are you going to do?
All right. Now that we're all dressed.
Cast mage armor on myself and on Blaznir.
Yes, I do not put on my leather armor.
Yep.
Oh, I would like to telepathically call Salvatore.
Okay, how does that work?
So it says if we're within a mile of each other, we can speak to each other telepathically.
Okay, let me look at the map.
So yeah, just
here.
don't put on armor, and you've got that for 8 hours, Blaznir.
Yep. I have no reason to put on armor.
13 plus your dex plus shield and whatever else you got. That's not armor.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably just barely within range, but just within range.
Oh, cool. Okay, because then I will telepathically be like, Salvatore, come to my location.
Okay.
So you can make this way to me?
So he's going to start making his way towards you. You do hear the acknowledgement. I'm not sure if you just communicate or like.
Yeah, you don't have to give him a voice or anything.
I wasn't going to. I was just.
Yeah, just give me general thoughts. If he says he acknowledges, I accept that.
So he basically gives you the reply that he does acknowledge your order, and he's going to have to kind of break his way through the stall to get to you. Yeah. But he is on his.
He's a real warrior.
Yeah, yeah. He's a war horse. It's probably going to take him a little bit.
He's a badass.
But he can kick through. But he can kick through a barn stall door and then the double doors of a barn and
cool.
Eventually begin to make his way towards you. Like I said, it'll take a little bit, but he is on his way.
It's fine.
That poor stable hand. The stable hand is just panicking.
Oh my god, it's the alien
going nuts. But
oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
And then I think we should go downstairs because you said it's an hour before dawn, so maybe we should blow the horn and then get ready because the people are going to attack at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be running out in the streets when the battle's going down, I guess, or we can start working our way there, before. But Edmund wants us to help, so I say blow the horn. And then we'll keep an eye out, and if anybody comes to our location, we just start killing.
I'm going to pull out my scimitar and just, please, do not fail me. I have not did anything with you. Just one thing. All right, I'm ready.
How long did it take us to cross that plain, field where they had deforested all the trees?
It took you probably a good 30, 40 minutes to go across that from...
So maybe we wait until it's about 40 minutes till dawn and then blow the horn.
Yeah, absolutely. You can kind of judge that as best as you can. So are you heading out from the warehouse and then blow the horn at that point, or what?
I feel like that would be better than getting trapped in this warehouse.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do y'all think? I think it's time to hit the streets.
Yeah. And like I said, if it's a magical noise that they can hear regardless, then we can just time it with the bells going off. And if it's not a magical noise, then obviously he just blows it whenever there's silence so they can actually hear it.
You've dealt with this before. He's been messing with it for a while. So the way it worked is he would blow the horn. It does make an audible sound, a very loud sound. But eventually what he says is he feels where the resonance of the other one is, and they hear it at the distance magically.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. No getting around it. Let's go.
Okay. So you eventually open
stealthily.
up the... What's that?
Are we doing this stealthily? Are we doing this stealthily at all?
Blow a giant horn.
Can't blow a big horn stealthily.
I didn't know if we're walking stealthily or anything, because I can do my thing. But before we head out.
This is it, boys. This is war.
All right.
Willow,
I've
for
never
the first
been
time in a long time, has the greatsword out and on her shoulder, ready for fight, ready for battle. She's not fucking around today.
Oh, yeah.
I've never
got
been
that
in a war
+1 long sword in my shield, and I'm ready.
Okay. Edmund, as everyone's getting ready, he's gotten ready as well, and he has his bow in hand. He just kind of glances down at the woman, and he just looks
Oh,
at
yeah.
I forgot about her. She could have escaped at any point, and we all would have forgotten.
No, I knew she was there.
All right. I unbind her feet and lift her up so she can walk out with us.
Okay. So you unbind her feet and pick her up. As you're pulling her up, like, remember, she's been hogtied all night long. There's no feeling in those legs. She stumbles quite a bit, holding on to you, or pushing against you. Eventually she will get her legs back, though.
Okay, so as long as she's just walking, because once we'll get outside, he'll blow the horn, and then, I might cut her loose.
Okay, so you lead her down the walkway, down the steps, probably holding on to her carefully to keep her from falling, or maybe you just push her. I don't know. But,
No.
Please don't.
You think I am?
Willow will cut her free if you want.
Willow, we're keeping our end of the bargain. All right, we're just gonna get out, and I'm gonna point her towards the exit of town, and tell her she better go that way.
So, are you heading out the front double doors of the warehouse or the back door?
Back door.
Could we
That's my vote.
lock either one of them behind us, potentially?
I mean, there was a padlock, or not padlock, but an actual door lock in the door. You guys never chose to pick it. You just teleported on the inside and remember. So,
yeah.
But
I think that's because there was like a bar or something that had to be lifted off.
Yeah. And you went back and saw that there was a locked door in the back, but you just went through the front. It's just it's not complicated. It's just a door with a lock, so you could have unlocked it, gone through it, and relock it again. I'm just asking if you're going through the front or the back.
But we can't do that as we're going out. Like, we can't walk out and lock it. But who cares? I don't care about this place being locked. What are you talking about? Let's get out of here.
Okay, fair enough. So you make your way through the back door, around the side of the building, keeping to that fence, which is about a 6 foot tall wooden fence. It's fairly tall. Blaznir, you can still see over it. You're gigantic.
I'm tall.
I'm 6'2".
Mm-hmm. So you can see over it a little bit.
Peek over it.
I'm taller than you.
Yeah. You are quite a tall man, brother.
But you can you head around the warehouse to that front entrance. You do see the open gate to the road beyond. Go ahead and make perception checks as you make your way to the front gate towards the city itself.
Hell yeah, brother.
One more thing.
Guide myself.
Willow is no longer appearing as a little girl. She is her normal age self, and she will never turn into a little kid again.
Dirty 20.
Everybody claps. I do coming of age for Willow.
She lost her innocence.
Poor Willow.
15.
I rolled a 3. I didn't see anything.
I rolled a 9, so I'm with you.
Yeah, you're all kind of vibing to each other as you lead this woman around the warehouse. Cameron, you're in front.
I got a dirty 20.
Yeah, Cameron, you're in front, and you're keeping an eye out. And as you come to the edge of the fencing and look around, your rabbit ears are up and looking around just like you're doing right now. And you can see down at the far distance, just as the light is beginning to grow, there is a couple of zombies far to the end, down at the far side of the street, making their way south from where you are.
Okay, do they have a handler?
You don't see a handler with them. You just see a couple of zombies.
Okay, I'm going to point out the zombies to the rest of the party.
All right.
Yeah, those are zombies.
Interesting. I do wish the sun was coming up.
Well, as I said, you
It
guys,
was your choice.
you said to wait until about 40 minutes. Edmund has not blown his horn yet. You wanting him to go ahead and do that?
I guess so.
It's like I really want to do it right next to zombies, though.
I want to be fighting while all the people are fighting because that would be the coolest. When everybody's here and everybody's clashing and we're going through the streets and we're fighting and we're helping people.
Do you want to just sit put for an hour?
Then it would take another 40 minutes after the fact for the orcs to arrive if we don't blow the horn.
Perhaps, but it seems like you really want to fight.
Well,
Willow's stretching so she doesn't pull a muscle.
It's just about whether we're going to be fighting alongside the townsfolk or in the dark before they all get up.
I prefer not to fight in the dark.
Let's fight alongside them. All right, let's put the brakes. And then we'll blow the horn just moments before dawn because I'm sure all the people are up a little early anyway. And they'll hear that war horn and they'll be like, it's time.
Okay. Whatever
I don't know if they will.
I just think that's more badass. That's more badass if you're fighting alongside the townsfolk.
And the
Until
orcs.
no one shows up.
Well, if y'all have something else to say, bring it in. This is a public discussion. It's not an
I'm
authoritarian
just saying,
system.
40 minutes before dawn, the orcs show up so they can fight with us. The citizens get up and join in, I think that'll be fine.
But I'm saying if we blow it now, we're going to be in combat.
Oh. I mean, with these zombies, maybe. They don't appear to have a handler, and we don't know if they can communicate with them or not, or how any of that works. But
all right, all for waiting.
Probably can. Let's just assume that they can.
All for blowing the horn right now. Say aye.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'd rather have the orcs backing us up than this. I mean, I want the orcs and the citizens to back us up, but I'd rather have the orcs if I had to choose between one of the two.
I'll look at Shokan.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I mean, I can prepare. I'll just have my quarterstaff at the ready.
Hey, Willow. Right now, you're feeling the gods are kind of looking down in favor upon you. You currently have inspiration for never being a little girl again.
Willow, do you think we should
It's almost like it annoyed the gods that I was playing a little kid to piss off other people.
No,
Power of Ra.
it's some horny bard out in the world who has suddenly realized that it's okay to try and court you now that you're not walking around as a little girl anymore.
Hey, that little orc that I fucked up in the fight will always be the most hated person in the village. All I'm going to say.
Willow, are you for blowing the horn now or later?
Willow is stretching in preparation to kill someone.
All right.
She has a look in her eye. She doesn't care. She'll go now.
Yeah, I think we're outmatched. So, Edmund, blow that horn. But if we just kill these zombies and nobody else seems to be coming, then we can wait. But otherwise, blow that horn.
Okay.
This is going to be a lame party, guys.
Yeah, this is exactly what you say. You tell Edmund, blow the horn. He pulls it up, shrugs his shoulders, says, okay. Loud blast that echoes throughout the town. Of course,
I'm going to cast dancing lights just so I can see.
Oh, I need to actually change it to daytime. So let me go ahead and do that real quick.
Oh.
Edmund accidentally blows it wrong, and it's just a huge fart sound instead.
Edmund, you're supposed to be a man now.
I've on the wrong setting, sorry.
There we go. Now it's daytime.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
All right, never mind. Then I don't need to cast dancing lights.
You do not need to cast dancing lights because the morning is starting to come upon you. It's about 30 minutes till dawn, but it's still lighter than...
Yeah, I think we could rouse the people from their homes.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'll start banging on doors.
We're just running around, starting banging on doors.
I'm about to. I'm thinking about
here's the thing, because you know, with that loud trill, there was zombies down at the end of that street walking, and the moment they heard that sound, they turn and look to see what it was. And Ichabod, there you are, standing, walking out, just as sure as you can be. So let's do this, everybody. Roll for fucking initiative.
Hell yeah.
Ichabod, pay attention, but I just crit failed on my initiative. I'm standing right there like, please come fight me. I'll go last.
Hey, I'm with you. Crit fail.
Yeah, your tanks are going last, guys.
Hey, what do you know? The rabbit's going first.
This new sword is stuck in the sheath.
Surprising.
I can't do it.
Well, maybe if you hadn't been playing with it all night.
Well, I just had to get a feel for it. You know, it's got a different weight as my other sword. So, y'all go first. Y'all go ahead.
Willow is still stretching. She's like, okay, I don't want to pull a muscle, you know.
Oh, I know.
Blaznir's not wanting to fight.
Cut this lady loose. There you go.
I don't have that.
No, let me let her cut her loose, please.
We'll get her after this battle. It's fine.
That's cut her loose, not cut her in half.
That actually does remind me. Did you ever cut anything beyond her legs? Just so I know.
Nope.
Her throat?
Not this witch, because if she joins in on this battle, I will kill her.
Yeah, I told her. She gets to live as long as she's not an enemy combatant.
If she lets out another screech, I'll kill her twice.
Do you need me to cast Revivify on her?
Yeah, I need her to be revived so I can murder her again.
Spend 300 gold just so you can kill her again.
No. Please.
Wait, can I do that? Matt, I have $3,000 of gold. How many times can I revive her again?
Well, you need the diamonds specifically, so.
And you're not even sure if he was the one who killed Shadowfire. It might have been somebody else.
No, but it's just, you know,
Makes
her
you feel
husband
better.
played with the toy. I want to play with his toy.
I'm just going to say
around here.
We can kill her 5 times right now. So.
Yeah, you guys never actually asked her what happened with that. So.
What happened with what? Oh, who brought?
Yeah,
Shadowfire, and who brought him back as undead. Yeah. No.
Maybe it was the Sandar fella.
Who else needs to roll for initiative?
Me, I'm in the middle of it.
Gotcha.
Of course, I had to reload roll 20, so.
Yeah, roll 20.
That is something we got to talk about here at some point.
I can't help but notice Gabriella is in the initiative order.
Well, because she does have a fucking turn.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
It feels a little weird. We might as well kill her now.
A little sus.
She's in initiative? No. Not feeling it. Not feeling it.
She's giving me bad vibes, you know?
Yeah, fuck y'all. I'm going to have her kill you. All of you. You're dead.
Hey,
yeah, I know how many hit points she has.
One of these zombies happen to have, like, red hair, maybe a subtly placed, like, leaf bikini, attractive female. Because they're ivy zombies.
I'm not sure I want to know what's... Yeah.
Poison ivy.
I need an adult.
I thought
you're not
kidding. It was a little gay rabbit.
Anyway, speaking of the unsure rabbit, Cameron, questionable. Cameron, what are you doing?
Let me see how far these suckers are away so I can see what kind of range I gotta work with here. Whoa, hang on. I gotta scroll down enough so I can. Okay, so 80 feet there. Okay, so this is 60 feet. This is 120 feet. Good. Oh, wait. That won't work. Because Or at least I'm assuming necrotic won't work. 5, 10, 15, 20, which puts you okay. And then Mind Sliver on either one of the two in the front.
That's a cool spell.
Yeah. I was gonna do Chill Touch because it's got a longer range, but I figured the undead probably wouldn't be affected by necrotic.
Okay, which one are you attacking?
Let's say the one on the left, in the front, right here. This
Got
guy.
it. Okay. And that is an intelligence save. Let's see how this zombie does.
Yep.
You know, super intelligent zombies, known for their
Yeah.
brains.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll also have to subtract 4 from the next saving throw he makes before the end of my next turn.
Okay, I like it. Well, that is definitely a failure, so
Nice.
10 points of psychic damage to that zombie.
Yep. Cool. And that will sadly be my turn because nobody's close enough to shove, and that's an action for that spell.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to back up a little bit?
Oh wait, yeah, you
Are
can
you
do
sure
that.
you don't want to get thee behind me?
Yes.
Probably
Backing
a
up.
good thing.
Backing
Probably a
it.
good thing.
Backing that ass up.
Well, it is a good thing he steps backwards because the zombie you just hit, it's his turn. Zombies don't have a whole lot of movement speed, though. 25 feet, so let's see how far he can get. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right up to there. He's just shambling along, the long vines from his arms just dragging behind him. So that was his movement, his action. He's going to move again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right towards you all there. His arms are out now, doing that zombie brains thing. But that's about it.
My sword's stuck. Help.
I'll help.
Yeah, another zombie's turn, and really can't do much but the same thing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 for their movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 for their action. They're just coming towards you as slow as can be. That's it for that zombie's turn. Shokan, you are up next. What are you doing?
Well, Shokan's gonna do what Shokan does best. Come up here and hit it with my quarterstaff for 15.
15's going to hit.
Okay, that's 12 damage.
12 damage. You take a big hit with your quarterstaff, cracking the side of its head downward. Its neck breaks a little bit, and it's kind of laying there at an angle. It is still alive, but only just.
Oh, I'm gonna attack again. 17.
Oh, yeah.
It's 15 damage for that one. Is it still alive?
It is not. That is definitely enough to take that guy out.
Alright, so I still have a little bit of movement. So I'm gonna come over here and flurry of blows on this guy. That's 20
20's going to hit.
for 12.
Okay.
And another hit is 20
Jesus Christ.
for another 10.
Yeah, you're
Save
easily
some of
able to
those.
take those things out.
Save some of those good rolls for the bosses.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I did the math wrong. He has 1 hit point remaining.
Of course he does. I don't want to use another key point, so I'm gonna. That's it.
Yeah. Still, you took down one and basically killed another one. Still
Yeah,
pretty
pretty
good.
much.
Indeed. Next up, we have the next zombie's turn. It's kind of shambling forward, coming at you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oops. There we go.
I'm just waiting for the fight where it's shambling zombie, and this zombie runs 100 feet up to you in a move action
Yes, those definitely exist. I'll bring those in next battle. No doubt.
If they
This thing
didn't exist
casts
before, they
Dimension
sure
Door.
do now.
So it's the Enchantress's turn. Mrs. Portlion. Oh, by the way, Jedi Slayer, he said Shokan smash to your one in almost kill.
Shokan smash.
Anyway,
That's what Shokan does.
Anyway, the Enchantress's turn. Edmund's kind of been the one that's holding on to her right now. Her eyes are blindfolded. Her mouth is gagged still. She still has her arms behind her back, and her legs are pretty unsteady. So she's not doing shit this turn. She's just kind of waiting there because Edmund stopped, and she hasn't really heard much of what's going on beyond. So that's it for her turn. Edmund, I suppose, will guide her. 5, 10, 15, 20 feet right up to that fence, and he's going to push her against the fence.
Ooh la la. Edmund.
Yeah,
Let's
Edmund
not go there.
Edmund, the 14-year-old kid, just kind of glares at Blaznir.
For any insinuation, how dare you?
Yeah. I'm going to say that was his bonus action to guide her over there and to put her there. He's using his action, and he's just going to fire off an arrow.
Sweet.
Good lad.
That's an 8, which does not hit. He leans around, pulls out his arrow, shoots with his bow, and it just goes wide over the zombie's head. He looks back at Blaznir and glares at you, as though it's your fault he got flustered and missed.
Listen, literally anybody would have made that joke.
It is your turn, Blaznir. So what are you doing?
25. Alright, I'm gonna scoot up there and is that thing even ranged? Probably. Nope. I only used 25, so alright, I'm gonna cast Produce Flame and just kind of lob it at that zombie.
Okay.
Oh, critical.
You're on fire!
That's
23.
no math, 23 points of damage.
23 points of damage. Wow. Yeah, you just create this ball of fire in your hand and lob it at, I'm assuming this guy right here.
Yeah, that one.
Yep. It just goes flying wide up, over, downward, and explodes in a bright flash of fire. Even with the drizzle of the rain coming down on all of you, you can feel the heat blow back. And from this hit, that's more than enough to take that zombie out.
Nice.
Actually, that's exactly enough.
And should I do that? I don't know. Just need to see if just when this recharges. Long rest.
I'm gonna say
All
this
right.
is just a small fight for now, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless things turn bad.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a short rest recharge because then I probably would use it, but I'm done.
Okay. Next up, we got Willow. What are you doing?
Alrighty. Willow. Okay, she gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I gotta check the range on you. That's what I forgot. She is going to do catapult using the skeleton's head, the zombie's head, to catapult it into this guy over here. I believe that.
Yeah, you know what? It was mostly broken to one side. I'll allow it.
Oh, I'm 5. Okay, is it 60 feet based off me or from where the item is?
From you.
Damn it, I'm 5 squares off.
You don't have
I will
more
have to hit
movement?
this one. No. Oh well, I'll hit the little one down here with the other skull.
Okay, I like it. So he needs to make a dex save. Zombies are super dexterous. We all know that.
Mhm.
Super good at everything.
Yeah, that's a
they have
6.
20s in the stocks.
That's a 6, so that's definitely a failure. You do not get sneak attack damage for that. Sorry, that's not how spells work.
No, I didn't mean to have it click. That's my fault.
Yep, but 12 points of damage. Pretty decent, solid hit as this the head of the zombie gets ripped off of its shoulders and flung through the air, hitting the zombie over here. Oh yeah, I just forgot. I forgot something completely important about zombies. So I'm going to have to retroactively.
Oh yeah, they got to roll.
Yeah, they got to roll for their con saves. Damn it, that's my bad, y'all.
No problem. You got a lot to track.
I just headbutted a zombie with a zombie.
I'm just glad they don't explode upon death.
Not yet.
I should stop
That's
giving.
Yeah, you're
Gene
giving
ideas.
lots of good zombie ideas. The fast zombie, the exploding zombie.
Okay, so the first one definitely failed. They had to roll a 20. The second one had to roll a 15 con save, so let's see if he does it. Nope, that's a failure, so yeah, they both definitely would have died. The third one, I'm going to assume probably not. But if they roll a nat 20, because there's 23 plus 5, so
Mhm.
yeah, no.
Only
tried,
2 of them
though.
died.
Oh, wait a minute, yeah, you're right. Only 2 of them died. My bad.
He's not dead yet.
I was thinking about the third one that had 1 hit point left. But either still, the 2 are dead. You're good. The head of the zombie does hit that guy. 12 points of damage. My bad. That's Willow. Do you have anything else to do on your turn?
I'm just gonna stick the sword in the ground and just point at the big guy.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of that big guy, it is his turn.
Oh, now he was gonna move the 5 feet. That figures.
Has 30 feet of movement. So let's see here.
Is he smart enough to not crush the little one?
Yeah, he's smart enough for that. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Oh well, worth a shot.
25, 30. Nice try. Nice try. Yeah, unfortunately, doesn't have a lot of. Yeah, it's stupid and can't attack right now, so it's going to use the rest of its movement to get right up there next to Shokan. Planning to attack her the next turn, but that's about it she can do. Or it can do. Last zombie's turn. It's just going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to right there. That's their turn. So we're coming to the bottom of the order. Ichabod.
Yeah.
What you do?
Hello. I would like to stow my shield so I can be dual wielding. And then I'm gonna make my way up to this zombie. And I'm gonna hit him twice with the longsword. It's 24 on the first one.
24 on the first one is a hit.
For 11.
That's exactly what it had.
Okay. Well, in that case, I would move to this guy and give him my crit.
I'll allow it.
Alright.
Roll your damage.
I hit him with the longsword. 18.
18 points of damage. Solid slice from the zombie ogre in front of you.
Sweet. And then I am going to use my bonus action to whip him.
It's all ogre now.
And that's a 25.
Definitely going to hit.
For 6.
6 more points of damage. Your whip slashes out and hits that ogre and takes a bit of damage, but not a whole lot.
All right, and then I will be fine with that.
Fair enough. Okay, that's it. At the top of the order, Cameron, you're standing there towards the edge of the fence, looking out. Go ahead and make just a free perception check.
Hell yeah. All about free stuff. 22.
Glancing around, because you're so aware of your surroundings as a wizard, you notice that the shutters in this door, this building right here, open, and a woman looks out at all the commotion.
Nice.
You also... What's that?
I was going to say, what does she look like?
Like your typical haggard civilian, you know?
Okay.
A working class woman.
Yeah, exactly. Older, middle-aged years, human, and the same drab clothes that you've seen pretty much everybody wear around here.
Fair enough. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. The other thing that you can see is looking down the street, down this direction. It's probably going to take another round before they get here, but there are some soldiers that seem to have noticed the commotion of your group.
Does he see my horse?
How long did you wait after casting that spell? Probably another 10 minutes or so. You do not see your horse right now.
Okay, but when he shows up, it's going to be awesome.
Your horse is amazing.
That reminds me. How fast is your horse? Just so I know.
I think it's like 60 feet. Let me look. Salvatore.
69 feet.
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay, so 120 per round. I'm just going to let you know it's going to get here at the bottom of round 4.
Okay.
No, sorry. 5. The one after this group. So
I don't know if this is going to make it to round 5. We'll see what happens.
Yes, that's also true. But
Yes.
there is another group that's going to that's going to take another round for them to get anywhere near you, and then the round after that, that's when your horse gets here.
Cool.
I will just yell to the group, wrap it up and keep moving. We've got more incoming to the left.
Okay.
And I'm going to mind sliver the big one.
That's a 1, so...
Yep, and it's -1 on a saving throw.
Okay. -1 on the next saving throw. You doing anything else for your turn?
That's 35 feet. 35. I'll just move up so I can get him within range and try and shove over the little one with 1 HP.
Okay.
So, strength save.
That's a 10.
He gets pushed 5 feet away.
Okay.
Does that give her an opportunity attack?
No.
No, it's only unforced movement.
Okay. That's it for Cameron's turn. Next up, we do have that zombie that got beaten the fuck out of. It barely is holding on and is far too stupid to know any better. So it's just kind of moving up towards you, or actually it doesn't even need to move because it's 5 feet away and it's got those vines. So yeah, it's going to just slash at you with those vines. 2 attacks. First is a failure with a nat 1. Second is a miss with a 15. Shokan, your turn. What are you doing?
Attacking the big guy.
Yeah, it is.
30, yeah, you are.
And
Sorry.
another one, 28 for 11. I'm gonna, obviously flurry of blows.
Obviously.
11. And does 13 hit?
13 does hit.
That's another 10. So that's a total of
14,
a lot.
35.
That's a total of a
44.
lot. I like that.
That is many.
46, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it
Sounds good to me.
big hits from Shokan as she just batters away against this gigantic zombie ogre. It towers over you, Shokan, but you just are lacing into it. It is still alive, but it ain't looking the greatest.
It's alive for now.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Okay. We're up to the enchantress's turn. She, well, being held up against the wall by Edmund, she's just kind of tense, waiting. Doesn't really have an opportunity to do much, so she's staying right where she is. Edmund, for his part, is going to step away from her just to take a shot. Hopefully this time he can actually hit.
Yeah.
Got this, Edmund.
Yeah,
Hey,
there we go with
he
a 20.
actually does.
You got this.
5 points. The arrow just thunks into the chest of the zombie ogre. The zombie looks at it, looks down, but other than it doesn't do a lot. Okay. Blaznir, what are you doing? Oh, Edmund moves back next to the woman.
Alright, I guess, you know what, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna, pull out my scimitar and just waltz up and
Yay!
step around the dead body, just kind of like, okay, and I'll take one slash, because that's all I have. And I got a 10.
Hey, guess
I'm
what,
proud of you.
Blaznir? A 10 hits!
Yes, you did it, Blaznir! You swung a sword!
That's
Nice.
13 points of damage.
Okay,
Nice.
Blaznir, with those 11 points of damage, tell me how this looks.
You did
Oh,
it!
I swing very wildly, like it's obvious I haven't had any real training.
Yeah,
with the
someone
scimitar.
who's never swung a sword before.
It looks like a child trying to swing a sword, except it's a very tall man, and it cuts deep into the chest, and yeah.
And as this thing falls down to the ground, it does have to make a con saving throw, but you do see the burning from that slash you made. And you kind of look at your weapon like, oh my god, did I actually do that?
I hit something.
It falls down. It needs to make, let's see, a 16 con save. So let's see if it can stay alive.
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
that's a failure with a 7. So it twitches for a little bit, trying to get up, but then Blaznir, it falls back, lying dead at your feet.
I for the rest of my turn, I sit stunned, looking at my scimitar.
Yeah, you probably do. And as that rain is kind of pelting you a little bit, that light drizzle, you just hear that tss, tss, tss of raindrops hitting your blade while you're staring at it, but you just can't take your eyes off the thing.
Yes,
Willow.
I'm still yelling, let's get a move on, people.
Willow, you're up next. What are you doing?
Alrighty. What do I want to do now that someone killed my prey? How
Well,
rude.
There is one that's still alive down here.
Yeah.
And there are some guys coming from the left.
Unless we
Eventually.
leave first.
Feeling that the rest of the group has this in order, I'm going to move back.
Okay.
Can I say something to Willow as like a free action?
Sure, go for it.
Willow, you should start encouraging these people to get out of their houses and come into the street and fight alongside us.
I'll nod my head, but I will still run backwards.
All right.
Fair
well,
enough.
I've done what I could. So.
Fair enough. Well, that's Willow's turn. Ichabod, what are you doing?
All right. So there's one alive.
There is one alive.
At 1
How
HP.
easily can I get around this guy? Can I just like...
I mean, you can move around the thing.
Yeah, because I'll get right here. And then I will... I guess I'll hit him. He's got like, what, one? Okay.
Yeah,
He's only got 1 hit point.
Yeah.
All right. 12. I imagine that hits.
Actually, yeah, it just hits.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, and with that, the zombie takes that cut. He's starting to die. He has to beat an 11 con save. And he does
All
with
right.
an 18! He
I hit
stays
him
up!
again. Is a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit!
I whip him.
God damn it.
Oof, owie.
Wow.
Alright, so with that in the bag.
Yeah, that zombie's still alive. 1 hit point left.
I'm gonna use the rest of my turn to holler. And I will say, anyone who is sick and tired of living under the tyranny of Lord Veritude, come out here and fight with us. And then I give Blaznir a predator handshake, and then I end my turn.
I figured you would have used the rest of your turn to shake your head and wonder where it all went wrong.
Yeah.
I do that every evening. I got that out of me last night. It's fine. I'm totally focused.
Fair.
Is that what you call it these days?
Yeah. I save it all for the evening, and then I beat myself, and then I am fine the next day.
Well,
that what you call it these days?
So at the end of turn order, responding to that yell that Ichabod called out, a door opens here to your west, and a man steps out holding what appears to be just a pitchfork.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna come charging up at the zombie, yelling it loudly, this poor old man. Let's see if he can hit it.
Can't do
He
worse.
rolled a 7 and failed.
It's alright, try again. You can do it. We'll get him next time.
Yeah, wow, finally.
Oh.
You know what? I'm going to allow it. 2 more come running out as well. This guy's kids, both carrying knives. One swings at it, stabs,
From the
misses
mouths
completely.
of babes.
The next one comes running up with just a freaking leg of a table, cracks it with a club over the side of its head. Does hit. 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
He has to be like, what? 7?
Hey, maybe it's harder because he succeeded already once.
You know what?
Zombies are annoying.
Yeah, zombies are annoying.
What you should do is you should make a house rule that they can only do it once or twice or something.
Fuck no, I'm not gonna do that during big battles. But for this,
This should be a minimum of 9 times they can come back. Minimum.
Yeah,
not cats.
Well, I'm just gonna say that in this instance, with more people starting to rush out of their homes now, seeing that first one, eventually one of them's gonna hit enough to take that guy out. You can see now, like about 4 or 5 people have come from their homes, but in that moment, the last zombie is dead, and you're out of turn order.
Cool.
Can I just
Let's get the hell
fact that
out of here
these guys-
before more guards show up.
I've got to say, the fact that this guy did 3 damage on critical means that this town is not going to survive.
Blaznir, you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, Blaznir. If you say one more negative thing, I'm gonna punch you.
Listen, I'm sorry.
I turn to the people and I say, "Excellent work. Now go get your friends. The battle is on."
Please
And
don't die.
Yelling at the party, let's get a move on before more guards show up.
Okay. So do you guys want to start? So if we go south, is that getting us to where the keep is? But we want to go out, don't we? So we can go around the back. So I guess where's the nearest door?
No, because Shokan can just run up the wall, so it doesn't have to be from behind.
So we're gonna run up the wall, go around the wall to the back, and then climb up, and then go in through the roof.
What?
What was the plan again?
The plan was to go to the back. Shokan runs up the wall all the way to the top, and then throws a rope down, and then we were gonna climb up the rope.
Yeah, that's fine.
So then we need to go through a gate to get out, so we can go around the back.
Okay, so I just popped up the map for you all to see it.
Or we can climb the wall of the city and then run around. But
Around the wall.
Yeah, so we're either going to encounter a bunch of guards at a gate, or we're going to encounter a bunch of guards on a wall.
Yeah. So if you look at the map that I just popped up, the closest gate to where you all are is the eastern gate.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably about 250 or so feet from that.
Mm-hmm.
Are we closer to the wall that leads into the upper part? Because I think you had said we're by this little V in the triangle.
Yeah, you're by that. That's the little V with right there. That's where Portlion's mansion was. You all kind of went to the east a little bit to get away and head out in a warehouse near there.
Oh, so we're like right in the middle.
Yeah, you're right in the middle. Technically, you're closer to the eastern gate than you are the southern gate to the upper city.
I just figure if we run and go to the wall instead of through the gate, we have a better chance of like getting more of the citizenry roused while we're on our way. As opposed to if we're leaving the city to run around to the side.
That's true.
So you're wanting to head south towards the upper city? Is that what I'm hearing?
Sounds like we're going to be fighting guards on a wall. Yeah.
Well, one thing is we could theoretically also clear one of the gates for the orcs to make it a little easier if we go through one of those gates. But
that's true. All in favor of going through a gate, say aye.
I don't care. Either way,
Blaznir said aye.
I think we need to get the orcs in because they're going to do a lot more damage.
Shokan says aye.
Sure, either one's fine. That's whatever.
Well, you can't say either one. It's aye or nay.
Abstain.
All right, Willow. Willow?
Sounds like the eyes have it.
The eyes have it. Let's go.
It does sound like the eyes have it. We're going to head towards that gate so we can help clear it for our buddies. Oh, yeah, we'll rouse the people on our way. We'll head to the gate. We'll all take it, and then the people will have the eastern gate. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to go east. So is the east on this map headed right towards those guards?
Yes, actually, that's what.
Let's get them.
Let's do this.
And they are heading in your direction. They can see your group right now.
I would like to face them head on in battle.
Okay.
I'm going to yell, howdy, we're starting insurrection.
Okay, awesome. You're heading towards that next group?
Yeah, that's me. I don't know everybody else, but that's Ichabod. Hit him.
I'll follow you.
I rush it.
Okay, I like it. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and put that group right on the map. Sounds like you're all charging towards the east, towards them. Yeah. Okay, I like it. Edmund is going to just turn that woman the opposite direction, west, and push her, saying, "Run for your life if you value it."
I will be running with Edmund behind her.
Well,
she's going the other way.
Yeah, she's going the other way. So I put those guys on the map, and we got 15 minutes less. Let's see if you can kill these guys.
Okay.
Okay. Roll for initiative.
Right. I'm gonna get a better one this
21.
Oh, 7. It is better.
Somebody could actually beat me this time.
Idea is 6.
but they didn't.
Yeah, beat Shokan.
Ooh, Edmund. Coming in with the natural 1.
God.
My boy. He's just following my lead.
He was only following orders. He swears.
Is initiative considered an ability check?
Actually, yes.
Oh, yeah,
So
it
then he
is.
gets added
It's dexterity.
Good call. Got it. One extra. Wow.
Now he's,
Wow.
he's gonna go before me. He gets to go before me by 0.02.
So what you're saying is the student has become the master.
Yeah, he surpassed me.
Wow, that's great. You know what? There's a lot of commoners out here, too. Let me go ahead and get them on the map.
Edmund just looks at you and goes, "You may call me Dad now."
Nope, I won't do that. I'll call you, what is he, a lord, a baron?
Duke, I think? No, Baron.
Duke.
It was Baron. It was.
Oh,
Baron.
I think you had said Duke before because
Maybe.
you were really feeling the Dune vibes.
Yeah. Let's go with the Duke.
My Lord Duke.
Let's go with Duke. I like it.
You Dune.
All these
Yeah,
commoners.
fuck it. There's tons of commoners.
You should just have them go on the same initiative.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I really don't care.
Makes it easier.
It's what I would do.
I'll let them have their high initiative, the 20.
In that 20.
Yeah. Okay. Starting things off. Who's surprised? It's Cameron. So Cameron, you can see Ichabod running towards that group that's starting to make their way around the crest. What are you doing?
Nice. 5, 10, 15, 20. Which, see there. I'm gonna, since that looks like a human there, I'm gonna try and cast Chill Touch on him.
It is a human. It's a guard that running up that's holding an axe.
For a 25.
Yeah,
Because
that
he looks
hits.
hostile, right?
Oh, he's definitely hostile. He's
Okay.
leading this group of zombies.
Then 5 necrotic damage to him. And he can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
I like it. That's it for your turn. Next is the Enchantress's turn. She was told to run, and that's exactly what she's doing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm taking away some of her movement because, her legs aren't all that great right now, being tied up all day. Or all night. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's her action, and that's it for her turn. Next, we got a lot of commoners. They've been roused. They've been told to come out and attack. I feel like some of them should have better equipment than just, a club. But
Hey, my name's
we got a
Cameron.
few
This is
swords.
my friend Ichabod. We're going to start a revolution. Want to come?
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. They're moving out of their house. They're coming into the streets. They look over at your group and they say, are you the ones we heard about?
The revolution is upon us.
That is us. Coltras has come to reclaim his keep. Fight on!
I'm going to say that they have short bows because why not? They're going to use the club because that's the only action I have on the sheet, but we're going to call them arrows.
Hey, they could be hunters for the city.
But they
Hunting
rolled
game
a
and
3
such.
and a 4. They're not that great at it.
It's hard. I get it. You're rusty. It's fine.
Yeah.
You just woke up. It's fine.
More of them are starting to come out, though. You can see a few more starting to make their way out of their houses. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, move them to there. Move them to about there. That's good. Okay. Next up, we got the zombie ogre, who is got to push past the two compatriots. So I'm just going to move them for a little bit for the fun of it. He shoves past you. There's 5, 10 feet there. 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. Can't hit anybody just yet, so stupid lumbering thing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet to right there comes looming down on these people that are standing there in the road, looking pretty well terrified. Blaznir, your turn. What you doing? Blaznir, you with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, sometimes these things mute themselves. But so I'm feeling just a smidge more confident in my scimitar ability, so I'm gonna run up and take my 1 slash. And a 20.
Hey,
Oh,
good
boy.
job. Yeah, that definitely hits.
Oh. That is 11 points of damage.
11 points
again.
of damage. Decent slash. You cut through the chest of this thing, burning a little bit as it goes. You see that, you get that really rancid flesh smell that's burning in your nostril, that burning hair smell. Oh, it smells horrible, but good slash. Good slash.
It was a graveyard slash.
That's technically all I have.
Okay.
I mean, I could do more, but I don't want to do more.
Fair enough. Willow, you're up next. What are you doing? You're hiding behind that fence in between the warehouse and everyone else. You're kind of short, so you really can't see over it. What are you doing?
I'll hear all the commotion. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I will hold action in case an enemy comes in my direction.
Okay, fair enough. Holding that action. Got a zombie next. It's just going to move. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to right there. That's its full movement. Next we have the axeman who got pushed out of the way by the zombie. Yeah, it's tragic, but let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet to right there. Sees those people that's rushed out with weapons in their hand, bows in their hand, who took shots and horribly missed. So, sorry guys, but
They haven't even done anything.
I mean, he's not close enough to hit him yet, so.
Well, he's
got
pulls
a
out
arrow.
hand axe, and he's going to be throwing hand axes at them because that's what he's got.
That bitch.
Oh, you're going down, buddy.
Oh, that's a 20. That's a hit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so an axe just comes flying out of his hand. Flunk! Right into the skull of this poor townsperson who stood up and came out, and he just drops to the ground dead. That guard just laughs because he's got 2 attacks, and he's only used one of them. That's a 7, which oddly enough does not hit. The second axe goes flying, and the woman who's holding the second bow screams as she jumps back, and the axe just goes right over your head, Cameron, as well, but does not hit. Okay. Next, we got Edmund's turn. He glances back at the woman he's pushed, sees her running. He's going to move up ahead and take a shot with his longbow. That's a 13, which does hit the zombie ogre. 8 more points of damage to him. Ichabod, you're up next. What are you doing?
All right. I would like to take a couple steps forward and attack this here big guy.
Do it.
That's a 12.
It does hit.
for 6.
6 points of damage.
And a 21.
Also hits.
And I think I'm also going to smite him.
Do it.
So that is going to be 2d8 radiant damage. 14 radiant damage.
So 28.
28 if he's weak to it.
Oh, no, I meant total.
Oh. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, no, he's not weak to radiant damage, but
All right,
still.
so 28 total. And I still have a bonus action. And for my bonus action, I would like to whip him. That's 26. For 8.
So 36 total.
36 total. Pretty damn big
And then,
hit.
question, am I able to move to this spot?
Yes, you could do that because you're still
Okay.
within their threat radius.
Okay, I would like to move to that spot.
Okay.
And then I'll end my turn. And I'm looking at this human over here.
Yeah, you're kind of standing on the other one.
Like, come here. I just want to have a word with you. I just want to talk to you for a second. Come over here.
Good to know.
Well, why don't you come over and take a seat? Just take a seat right here.
Next up, we do have the
What are you
swordsman moving 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet to right there. What does he do?
He pulls out a hand sword and throws it.
Well, he doesn't have a hand sword. Hand sword?
I used the hand axe.
Do you mean a dagger, perchance?
He does, actually. That's what he does have. He has a long sword and a dagger, so he can actually throw his dagger. And you know what? Ichabod's right in front, so don't forget you're not using your shield right now. I think you said you're using... Okay.
Don't worry, Ichabod. He's throwing away his bonus attack.
He's still missed.
Still missed with a 17. Okay.
Yep. Because I get +1 when I'm dual wielding.
Yep, nice. Okay, well, that's it for his turn. Other than that, he seems ready, and
I knock it out of the way with my sword. There you go.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Shokan, you're up next.
Finally. I'm gonna go right here and start wailing on this guy.
Wail on him.
Beat this guy.
But you're not a whale, you're a turtle.
But turtling on him sounds weird. So that's 10 damage for the first one.
Okay.
23 again.
Yeah,
15 damage. Is he still alive?
Yes, he is. He looks pretty hurt, but he is still alive.
Alright, well, flurry of blows. 27 for 8 damage.
Still up.
23 for 12 damage.
That is enough. So tell us how this looks.
Oh wait, should I have gotten advantage at all? Or I guess that doesn't really matter. I killed him. I mean, I feel like, I hit him once with my quarterstaff since I'm two-handing it. Turn around, hit him with the back end of it, and then just 2 real quick punches in succession with my brass knuckles.
I like it. And with that final hit, the thing goes down, slumping to the floor. It does have to do its con save, so that's going to be a...
Is there something that makes it not function if he takes radiant damage?
It doesn't say anything about that, no.
Okay.
No,
I just know that there are abilities like that.
Yeah, there are abilities like that. His Undead Fortitude, just if he takes to 0, he has to make a con saving throw of 5 plus the damage. Oh, wait a minute.
Unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit.
Oh, but I think that means if he dies from the radiant.
Yes, if he dies from it.
Okay, that's fair.
Hey, at least it's not 3-5 where they took reduced to everything but bludgeoning just for being undead.
It is a failure, though, so it is completely and utterly dead. Okay, the last zombie's turn. Let's see here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This isn't really looking too great for this group. It is 6 o'clock. I think it's probably safe to say that your
we
group
kill the
will
rest.
be able to take out this encounter. Since the big guy's down, even with the guards there.
Oh, I wanted to kill that guy.
I mean, I'll go through the next round real quick if you really want to.
I
But...
feel like we should do one more round because we could probably finish it in a round.
Okay, let's try to
I'm
do this
okay, but
quickly.
it's up to you.
All right.
Let's try to do this within the next 10 minutes. Cameron.
Sure. I'm just gonna blast the guard.
Hey, save that guy right there for me.
He is going to get hit with a mind sliver.
Which guard are you aiming at? The swordsman or the axeman?
The one directly in front of me.
Okay, axeman.
I'm gonna ask him a question.
That's a failure, so 10 points of psychic damage.
Yep, and -4 on any saving throw before the beginning of my next turn.
I like it. That's it for your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Enchanter's turn. She's just going to keep running, so she's off the field. It is the commoner's turn. They are starting to move in and take shots. They are definitely trying to help these townspeople. I'm going to do... I'm going to say most of them still has arrows because they're trying to keep their distance. So we're going to take 6 shots at the various guys over here.
Whatever, man. A 20 would hit me. I don't know what you're talking about with those commoners. They're brave AF.
Yeah. Let's see. 19 is definitely going to hit this guard right here. I'm going to increase that. It's going to be 2 at least. Second one is aiming at the zombie closest. So that's right here. The 16 is going to hit. 2 more points of bludgeoning damage. Third one's also going to hit. That's 4 more damage. Fourth one hits. That's aimed at this Axeman back here. That's 2 points of damage. Next one is an 11 that's aimed at the zombie. That's going to hit. 2 more points of damage. But that last one is not going to hit. Not with a 5. Anyway, go for it.
Sorry.
Blaznir, your turn next. So what are you doing? Scorching Ray?
Yeah, no. I accidentally clicked that.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna kind of scooch past Shokan and take a slash with the scimitar. I'm suddenly hitting with 20. Oh wow!
On fire.
It's like you have a +7. I don't know why you're saying you can't do it.
Because I never hit anything before. That's 9 points of damage. But I would never hit anything.
Yeah,
and now I'm just...
Well, with 9 points of damage, you're slashing through this, burning through the zombie. He's looking really, really hurt, but he is still up.
Alright, I can't shoot bash as a bonus action, I don't think, so...
No, I think there's a feat for that.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't have that feat.
Okay.
Yeah, I have...
Okay, Willow.
Got nothing.
You're up next. What are you doing?
Alrighty. I will, go 1, 2. With this being a giant ogre, I guess that's going to become difficult terrain for me.
You can move around it without dealing with that sort of thing. Remember, everyone around here is your ally. You can move through your ally space.
Yeah, as long as you don't end there, you're fine.
Yeah, I was just trying to get here, so I was trying to do at least of resistance, and then I'll attack this one up here.
Fair enough. He's only got 5 hit points. Let's see what you do. 14 does hit. Phew, definitely. With a huge swing of that radiant greatsword, it just cleaves through the zombie, cutting it immediately in half. The thing drops to the floor on either side because radiant damage. It doesn't get to make the con save. It is definitely dead.
Can I have a little flavor added to it?
Go for it.
Blaznir, I'm sorry, you're soaked in blood.
Why?
Rotten, disgusting black blood as just flat fountains everywhere from being cleaved in half.
You chose to do that to me.
What else you got on your turn, Willow?
Let's see.
If you got more movement, you could potentially make a second attack.
Mm-hmm.
No, unfortunately, that's all I can move.
You only moved 15 feet.
It's not difficult terrain.
No, I thought it was farther back, but okay. Then I will go, and I'll do a second attack then. 26.
Definitely.
Damn.
Or 21.
You know what? I'm going to allow it. That with 21, that completely slices this other zombie in half, bisecting it completely, and it drops to the floor dead.
Unfortunately, I don't think blood can get back to Blaznir anymore, so...
It manages, actually.
Get all over this guy.
Covers the guard.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to picture no matter where I swing, blood just ends up on Blaznir. I can be 4 miles down the way and somehow drop and hit him in the face.
Is that it for your turn, Willow?
Yes, that is all for her.
Okay.
That's all she wrote.
Next up, we got that Axeman that was right next to you. He's coming running up towards you, charging, yelling, as he starts swinging with his great axe. First is a 24, which I assume hits.
I gotta check one thing. Where you at? I wouldn't be able to do it, so yep, that will hit.
Okay. 8 points of slashing damage for that first attack. Here's his second attack. Does a 16 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay. Second attack swings. You pull up and block with that greatsword of yours, pushing off, and he does not manage to connect. Next up, we got Edmund's turn. Edmund sees everyone down, but you're fighting that guard over there.
Shoot this guy.
Shoot that guy? Okay, I'll shoot that guy if you want me to.
Either one.
That's an 18, which does hit.
Woo!
10 points of piercing damage. An arrow comes flying out, striking this guy right in the chest. He looks caught off guard from that.
Shockingly big hit.
Yeah.
Good.
Ichabod, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna waltz right up to this guy who did such a disrespect by throwing that axe in that guy's head, and I'm gonna try to gut him.
Do it.
Okay.
Natural 1.
Wow, that's a big 10.
Yeah, 10's not going to hit.
What about a 20?
That's going to hit.
Is he still up?
He is still up. 10 points of slashing damage.
Expend a superiority die to trip this man.
Okay.
And do another d8. And if I recall, he's going to get a -4 on this save because of Mind Sliver.
Yeah, that was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check and make sure. Yep, just says next saving throw. Doesn't have to be a spell.
So he needs to make a...
I assume a dex saving throw?
And what's superiority die? Strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw.
-4. Oh, he already failed.
Oh, yeah, he definitely failed with that -4. No
so
problem.
Now that he's prone, I will take my bonus attack with advantage.
I like it.
That's 11. Oh my god.
Yeah, unfortunately, 11 is just not enough.
All right, I just berate him verbally while he's laying down.
As you're sitting there and you're slapping your whip, the whip's just... You're just slapping your whip down, the whip hitting the ground in front of you as you're yelling this.
You know you're going to hell, right? Straight to hell. Somebody's sending you there right now. Hey, y'all, get over here. Send this guy straight to hell. Shokan, stop this man.
Willow, for the first time, looks like she's out, just finally realizing what the fuck's going on. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Next up, we got the swordsman's turn.
Righteous fury.
Well, with everyone big-eyed staring at Ichabod, no one pays attention as that swordsman comes running up, using everyone focused on him to attack Willow right there.
You can try.
That's a 10, which is going to miss. And a 15, which is going to miss. Wow. 2 swings trying to connect with Willow. He just does not seem to be able to make it. But it is Shokan's turn. What are you doing, Shokan?
Put an end to this.
I'm going to attack this guy real quick with my quarterstaff. And I get advantage, correct?
Yeah, definitely, because you are pincered there.
I'm definitely going to take my advantage. 29. Definitely.
Hits.
8 damage to him.
Okay.
Another hit, 15.
15 does not hit.
Alright, I guess I'll do another flurry of blows.
Jeez.
15 again.
Save some of them
No.
key points.
19. For 11 damage.
Okay, 11 points of damage. He's taken some hits, but he's still looking strong.
Freaking guards.
These aren't just your average guards, I'm afraid.
You're not dealing with the average Super Saiyan.
They're gonna get finished by the commoners.
Yeah. It is top of the order. It is Cameron's turn.
5, 10, 15. I'll just move here so it's easier.
Are we calling it now, or are we doing another round of turn?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's these 2 guys left.
Yeah, if we want to stop.
We all just kick them to death. We surround them and we just kick them.
No, I'm not gonna roll or anything, but I am gonna expend a spell slot and say, "Oh, you said fires of hell," and chromatic orb him for fire.
Okay, I like it.
And he dies.
Yeah, I'm gonna allow it because let's see. One guy has 12 hit points left. One guy has 16 hit points left. The odds are you're going to take these guys out. They're not going to be able to escape, which is what they would have tried to do if they had a chance because they're so hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna burn to death the one that she wanted to send to hell.
I like it. You charred that guy to a crisp, and he is now lying there smoking, dead on the ground.
I feel like all is right in the world.
And the
Close
people seem to be looking towards you all now, saying, "We heard about the rebellion. Thank you for helping us. We're gonna go find more and get and save the town." And they go running off.
Yeah, march with us to the east.
Can we like at least recommend that they pick up some of these guards' swords and stuff?
Yeah, start
Arm themselves better.
Take the armor and swords and weapons.
Rip the green
Flip
cloak
yourself.
off.
Don't use the tables, please.
I want to warn them because I did tell all the orcs to kill everyone in a green cloak. So put on the guards' armor, but rip the cloak off.
What if orcs are colorblind? I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I did mention that we shouldn't. We probably shouldn't have done the orcs. They're bloodthirsty.
Well, I guess we'll find out what happens next week. So, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had a lot of fun with the insanity that happened this week. We'll get back into it and see what happens as the Debauchery Circus tries to save the town of Coltrast. So, for everyone, on behalf of the group, I just want to say thank you once again for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Actually, we'll see you in a couple weeks. But anyway. Okay, we're clear.